Adam, you've been here plenty of times. Was this a little bit different Southwick than we've seen in the past?
I don't know. I feel like every time we come here, everybody's like, oh, it's so hard and slick, but it's always kind of been like that. I think the ground was saturated because we had, so much rain the last 3 days, but overall, I thought they did a great job with the track prep. Even, Jimmy Perry came over, and he's been really good about coming over and asking the riders for input, and I thought the track was a little bit one line because it's so hard on the inside. Back here in like 2008, 2009, they used to make kind of berms on the inside with the tractor, and I gave them my input, and I thought they should do something like that to kind of open it up because first practice, everything on the inside was really shallow. So once that blew out, it's like everybody's going to the outside. And man, they listened and they did that. And I thought the track turned out great. Obviously I didn't win or anything, but I was stoked on the way the track was. It was rough and hard, but I could move around. So I thought it was good.
Seemed like, to me, like, on my side of the fence, there were sections that were rougher, some of the downhills, but like where the big roller section normally is, it wasn't there.
Yeah, they put the tractor, they put the blade down a couple times, which I don't mind. The track's definitely rough enough. It doesn't have to be endurocross all the time, but it's, man, if you're out there, you definitely wouldn't be complaining about a couple little dozer marks.
So talk about your day. How'd it go out there?
Yeah, good. It's been kind of tough for me I think I talked to you last week, but it's kind of been tough for me just not being able to put my best foot forward, I guess. Like that can be a little bit discouraging for me. But it's taught me a lot. It's taught me to just focus on, what I can control. I may have said the same thing last week. So just a little bit more of that this week and just really wrapping my head around getting the most out of myself regardless, even if I'm not super stoked on what I have to give. And on a day like today, I could have definitely done some things better, but I felt like I pretty much got the maximum. For me, it could have been a little bit better off the gate. But I still, I think everybody can still see him fast. Like, hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. So just going to keep plugging away.
There's still good depth and a lot of guys to battle with out there.
Yeah, man. If you're one click off, it's you're going to have a tough day. But it's awesome. I really enjoy battling with everybody. Everybody's clean for the most part, and I've been enjoying myself.
Yeah, doesn't seem like we have the super intense hate each other rivalries, or at least on the surface.
There's a couple guys that are just do some stupid stuff. Like I'm riding around and I'm not gonna I'm basically rolling around like the last, not rolling around, I'm still trying hard, but maybe the last 8 laps of the second moto, so like when Tomac and those guys are coming up on me and it's hard for me to really hold on, I'm not gonna battle these guys to the death, right? Because they're going by me, no matter how hard I try. So I try to, not that I don't put up a fight, but I try to make it easy on him. And I tried to let Barsha by, man. I was all the way on the outside, and the guy just darts across the track and just tries to stop me. I'm just laughing at him, I'm like, you've been doing this for 10 years, just go by me. But you just gotta laugh. It's funny.
Yeah, try and minimize damage, if somebody's behind you that...
I'm a smart guy. I guess some people could look at that and be like, oh, you gotta fight harder for the position, but... You don't know, I'm confident that I make the best decisions for myself, and I try to latch on and do my best for a couple laps and follow their lines, and I feel like I keep my forward progress going a little bit that way instead of just trying to drain myself and end up making a mistake and falling down and getting 12th or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited with how I'm attacking everything.
Are there any of the races coming up that you kind of got circled looking like this one could be a good one for us?
Whatever the next one is.
I like that.
Yeah, just gonna keep grinding. Every time every day is a new day.
All right, Eli, you've been kind of the king of the second motos lately, but man, especially after Colorado, it looks like something clicked.
Yeah, Moto 2 has been, outstanding lately. We've won the last 3 that way, and unfortunately today Moto 1 was worse. Right, it was like an 8. I'm like, it's not going to do much for us on the overall in the day, so that was frustrating. The track, it changed between 1 and 2. I made some bike adjustments too, which helped me a lot. Just feeling better and going places I want to go in that sense. So, I'm just kicking myself right now for that 8th place in the first moto. It's driving me crazy, because for how good I felt Moto 2. It's disappointing Moto 1.
Well, it's nice to hear that. You see the fans sometimes, they're like, oh, yeah, he's kind of done with the team and waiting on next season to switch over. It doesn't work like that, does it?
No. I mean, it's just as a competitor and a racer and athlete, like that's the last thing on your mind, at least for me. We're competitors. I'm going for that checkered flag. I'm not going to be rolling around by any means. So good to still have those wins going. Just need to get one of those overalls. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I think the top guys hate losing almost as much as they love winning.
Yes, I mean, between motos, I was just like, just like I already said, like kicking myself. Like I was angry.
What are you looking forward to coming up for the rest of the season?
Really, the tracks. I look forward to these outdoor tracks. It's great to be on our normal routine of tracks here. I look forward to Millville. I look forward to Washougal. Just going to those places and all our tracks a few of the tracks that we missed last year. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's nice to get back to the fans too. The smile on your face is up on the podium with people going nuts at Redbud and even here. It's cool to have that back.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what makes it, right? So great to have the fans back, and yeah, we've had I think a good crowds, for getting back into the normal.
All right, Ken. So how was the day at the office?
Day at the office honestly ended up actually being pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the track. It's really tough to ride. I wasn't a fan of my bike setup, but managed my way through. The first moto was pretty miserable. I was just getting blasted the whole time for 30+2. Didn't really get the start. Got a much better start in the second one and could put in somewhat solid laps, but I knew it was going to be difficult. I just didn't really gel with anything, so I made my way through. I got second on that moto and second overall, so I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah, if you're not, it's not a track you like.
Yeah, I try not to talk about it too much beforehand because I just try and go with an open mind and take it for what it is. It's the same for everybody, and I'm sure everybody has their struggles, so not really thinking about too much, trying to do some little bike changes and stuff, but it's difficult to really reinvent the wheel, right? So made my way through. I'm okay with it. I'm healthy, second overall. It is what it is.
Yeah, move on.
Move on, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to coming up? Is there anything that you're looking at going, hey, that looks like something I'd be into?
Well, I've really done good at every track that that we go to. So again, coming in with an open mind, try to recover throughout the week and just have a lot of feel-good riding days and come into the weekend open-minded. I like the clay type track, so Washougal is obviously coming out. We do run into some issues sometimes with the sun coming out and the shadows, but I'm looking forward to that track. I've done good at Millville, really done good everywhere, and we got half of the rounds really to go, and just gonna keep powering forward.
I asked a couple of the other riders today, was this sort of a different Southwick? Because like where we normally see the big rollers in the middle of the track, but those weren't really there like they normally are. But then some of the stuff, there was that downhill on the half that's close to us right now that looked like stair steps and ruts and everything else.
Yeah, so no matter what, they did some track prep, so they did a good job with that, but the track, no matter what, was really hard to ride and not really that fun. So I was hoping with all the rain that it was going to be a little bit deeper and a little bit more pleasant, but it wasn't. So
it can't make you like this, huh?
Yeah, it's a tough track to come to, and essentially I don't think it'll ever really change. So coming here in the future, you just got to know that it's going to be a pain in the butt and just deal with it.
Yeah, this isn't GP sand track.
Definitely not. No, we have a lot more bottomless sand, more open tracks that are pretty fun to ride, but like I said, it is what it is. Good thing we only have one of those a year, so.
Well, I almost wish that there was a little more varied terrain in some of the tracks, hard pack to sand to different things.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do. We have a few clay tracks, we have a few loamy kind of tracks, and we have one of these, and I wish we would have a really deep sand track. But again, I feel like all these tracks have been the same for many, many years, and I think that's just what we have here in the U.S. So.
All right, Chase, I saw a photo sequence from today where it looked like you were doing some butt surfing.
What's funny is that I literally just picked myself off the ground. Like 2 corners before that, I crashed, like had the bike on top of me, and then I turned the corner, and then I did that, and it was a struggle. First moto I went backwards. I got a pretty good start, and just wasn't aggressive and went backwards kind of, and then I was stuck there. I was stuck behind Cooper for pretty much the whole moto, and was frustrating. But for me, it's been frustrating these last few races, and I'm hoping something clicks coming here soon, and we can get back to where I belong. Coming up all these tracks I do like, so that'll be nice, and get back in some ruts and some traction, and I'll be good. So yeah, I just gotta get better and get back to where I belong.
Yeah, I mean, those are oddball crashes, but at least they're not like some of the big ones that you were having during Supercross.
Yeah, I've worked a lot in trying to just learn how to ride the 450, and obviously those crashes today didn't really prove that I knew how to, but yeah, they were kind of freak things and caught me really far off guard. So yeah, it wasn't ideal, and still to get 8th after having 2 really big crashes wasn't horrible, but 8th is not why I'm coming out here and race. So looking to get back on the podium and competing up front at Millville. So
I think we lucked out today, though, with the amount of rain that they got over the last night and the day before. Things could have been a lot worse here.
If it was a clay track, we'd be in some serious trouble. With the sand, obviously we got really lucky, and the track was good. This track is really weird. It has a hard base to it, so you kind of slide coming into the corners, and then you have a sand berm. So for me, I've never really been able to figure it out yet, but yeah, the track for how much rain we had was really good, and the guys did a really good job. So yeah, coming back here next year and getting some revenge.
With that hard base and you're basically running paddles, is it hard to keep the rear end in line?
Definitely, it's hard to keep it in line. Actually, braking is the hardest thing, because you're braking in those hard packed areas where your rear wants to slide out, and it's pretty difficult. So that's kind of the biggest thing. When you're in the corner, everything's good because it's pretty sandy, but coming out and coming in is the hardest part.
Nice job out there. I know it's not where you want to be, but hey, let's do it again next weekend.
Yeah, the good thing with racing is we have another shot next week, so I got nothing to lose and come out swinging.
Well, hey Kyle, nice to see you out here. Man, it's been a bit since Atlanta?
I did Salt Lake, the last Salt Lake. I made it for that one, but pretty much Atlanta, so yeah, it's been a little while.
And how many days of riding before you got here?
So, since Atlanta, I just raced Salt Lake because I hurt my shoulder, and then took a bunch of time off, and because I wasn't planning on doing many of these, or any, I rode 3 days last week and 2 days the week before. So I think today was like my 6th or 7th day on the bike since Atlanta, basically. So yeah, not much.
Well, and you hooked up a new deal with Alias CBD. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Alias Sport, they reached out to me like, hey, this is kind of a home race for them. Like, hey, why aren't you doing outdoors? I'm like, yeah, it's just tough. It costs a lot of money and whatever. And they're like, well, would you want to do some? I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do some. So we came up with a pretty cool idea. All the sales from from the store yesterday, they donated to me to help with expenses and stuff. So it's something that I think they want to do to help other privateers too in the future. So it was awesome. Yesterday, just all the sales that they did, they just went straight to me. So it was a big help. That's what pretty much got me up here. And awesome coming. I've been using the product for probably 2 or 3 months too. We kind of talked about it back then. He's like, why don't you try the products, make sure you like them? And so I've been doing that. And then he's like, hey, what about Southwick? And I'm like, that's in like a week or two. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, let me ride a little bit. So I rode literally, like I said, like 6 days. And then I was like, can I race? And AMA's like, they might be full. And they're like, we'll get you in. So I didn't know till Tuesday night that I was in. So I rented the van, drove up, and here we are. So it was not probably the least prepared I've been for a race, it's a little frustrating, but knowing that going in, I wanted to have fun and just be here. It's fun to be here. So
how'd the day go?
Not exactly what I'd want, but all things considered, I can't be that mad. Just some kind of bummer things and a stupid mistake. First moto, terrible start. I hit neutral coming over the gate, so just beginner idiot. I got through the first turn, I got by a few guys, but then second turn, you kind of go over that tabletop and then single. So, 2 turns into the race, I think it was Norn or somebody got cross-threaded and came across the track. And it was me, Bogle, him, we all came together and crashed pretty hard. So I came from last, besides those guys, I think to like 18th or 19th. So I was like, all things considered, like last to there, first race, I'm like, I'll take it. Second moto, a little better start, and I was 15th for most of the moto. Like 4 laps to go, I just crashed. But I made a dumb mistake by myself. Went over the bars pretty hard and crashed. My bike ran me over. I think I got like 21st or something like that. So I'm like, come on, like top 15. I was like, not so much expectation, but I was like, top 15 would be cool. But again, the top 20 guys are no joke. And I've only ridden it a handful of days, and they've been riding for a couple months now. So it's like, top 15 would be sweet though. And I'm like, I had it, and just a dumb mistake. But track was gnarly, it was rough. And for me, like I said, not being as prepared as I would normally be, it was tough, but my fitness actually felt pretty good. I had fun, aside from the couple crashes, kind of hindered the results a little bit, but I'm here, I'm healthy, and it was fun.
Saw you pitted with the 3D guys. How many more races do we see yet?
I don't know. I don't know what the next one I'll be. Probably, if I do any more, it'd probably be like after like Loretta's, like a Unadilla, Butts Creek, Indiana. I'm gonna be sore for like a week probably after this. The track was tough, and it's hard because it's Millville and it's pretty far. Which I have some people that could take my bike, but like I said, this was more, Alias is kind of hometown. I just want to make it happen. They have that cool idea, and we want to kind of promote that for them because they want to work with other guys in the future too. So this was just like, it's Southwick. I like it. Let's make it happen. But I want to be a little bit more ready if I'm going to do more. So it's Millville, Washougal, and then I think some time off. So it'll probably be like a Unadilla, Butts Creek. And the semi that I had for Supercross will be at those ones. So I'd be able to fly in, not drive 22 hours each way to do it. So I'd be able to just go in the semi and fly in. So if I do, it'll probably be those ones. So you guys might see me there. So.
Well, sounds good. We'll see you there.
Yep. See ya. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Well, Joey, we haven't talked to you yet this season, but 10th overall today?
Is that what we got? I'm not even sure. Honestly, yeah.
That's what you told me before. So.
I don't know, something like that. 9th or 10th, I don't know. It was not the greatest weekend by any means, but just riding the struggle train right now, man. It's not easy. The class is very deep this year, so not getting good starts is not really doing myself any favors. Still need to figure some things out with me, with the motorcycle. There's a whole slew of things that need to get better to take that next step. But I'll take where I'm at right now over where I was last year. Excuse me. I mean, like I said, from where I was last year to where I am now, it's progress. But obviously, I still truly believe that if I get things figured out, I can be a threat. I've won before, obviously not in the 450 class, but I believe in my ability, and I'll never stop believing in my ability. So obviously it's easy to say that now, but I'd like to get some things figured out and kind of get the ball rolling and fix my starts. That's the biggest thing. I think if I can just fix my starts and get up there earlier on and at least try to run the pace for a little bit, kind of get your feet wet, I think that'll help in the long run. But when you don't get the greatest starts and you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball right off the start, is not really doing myself any favors. So I gotta just go back to the compound and keep working.
Yeah, it's kind of got to be frustrating. You get out of the gate, here I am again, another bad start, and you've got a long moto ahead of you.
Yeah, which is for me, like, dude, I've always been a pretty good starter. In the lights class, when I was on the Cowie, when I was on that Suzuki, like I was still a pretty good starter. So it's been a little bit mentally troubling, I guess you could say, or just my brain is working overtime just because I'm trying to figure it out. And maybe that's some of the problem. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've always been a pretty good starter. I've always had confidence when I'm on the gate, and it's hard to fake that when you haven't been getting good starts. So, like I said, I need to work on things, and that's all there is to it.
Well, Hunter, you've been having some good motos out there, and today it all came together.
Yeah, big time. It was 2 really good motos today. So no happy, can't complain. Dude just was coming into it just like a normal weekend, was excited, knew that my speed was there. I just had to eliminate a few mistakes, so that was really cool. And yeah, we were able to do that. 2 average starts, I want to say, and we had to work for it. So it felt good. That felt good today.
You guys have been running up front all season. I think the program with the bike and the training and everything else is working.
It is. Like my fitness is really good. It's the best it's been in so long. It's awesome to have that extra reserve in the last 10-15 minutes of every moto. It's like it's been so long since I've been able to have that, with the health issues and stuff, and just my physical issues like of injuries and stuff like that. So it feels good. It feels really good to have that. And yeah, the bike's working great. Team's been working really hard, and just really happy everything's coming together. We're still working, still we learned from today as well and where we can be better and stuff. So it's good.
Compare where your bikes were with Geico. I'm not trying to up or down anybody, but compare where they are now to what you had before. Is it any different?
Yeah, there's, obviously there's a lot of things different now that we're HRC, and one of the biggest things is just the, how many bikes and how many parts we don't have to manufacture and stuff and have to buy, etc. Because Geico, there was 5 guys, each guy has to have 2 or 3 parts for each race bike on the weekend. So it's a lot of parts when you add it up and do the math on the dollar figures and stuff. So having just 2 guys definitely makes it a lot easier to have more invested into it, and we're able to change things and stuff because we don't have to worry about too many number of items and stuff like that.
So when are you going to see you and Jet dicing it out more?
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I think he was behind me in the second moto a bit, so it was looking to be pretty good. I didn't know it was him, but, after it could have been pretty cool looking back on it, but he wasn't feeling the best today, so look forward to it when we're both on our A game. I think it'll be pretty cool and something that a lot of people will have been wanting to see for, quite a while now. So,
was this first trip here for you?
I was here in 2019, but we sucked. We just sucked.
Well, good race, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good for sure. Thanks.
All right, Justin, what were the moto scores today? And if I remember right, it was sort of an up and down day.
Yeah, it started out pretty rough in the first moto. Fell on, I guess you could say, the second turn and picked myself up in last. So it was had my work cut out for me, and was able to claw my way up to 6th, I believe, and second in the second moto. But yeah, the first moto expended a lot of energy and just did what I could to get as far as I could up front. And second moto, about halfway when I was in the lead, I knew I was going to start fatiguing pretty bad, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Those guys, Lawrence Brothers, riding good, and just did what I could to hold on to what I could, and even made once Hunter got around me, Jet was pushing the pace, and we brought it back up to him. So it was kind of like I was sandwiched in between them, and at that point there was 3 laps left, and that's kind of where we stayed. Just gave it my all the way to the end. Just didn't really have the energy to push that extra that I needed to go back after Hunter in that second moto, but did what I could, gave my all day, and we got what we got. We're on the podium. We gained some points.
This looked like a different Southwick to me. Rough, on downhills, but where there's normally that big roller section kind of in the middle of the track. It was fairly smooth there.
Yeah, a couple of changes. Definitely some big soft braking bumps out there, and that had to do with the 3 inches of rain we got yesterday. So it made for some soft sand, and the places where there was a little bit of dirt, it was really soft and kind of like a mulchy kind of thing. So the bumps definitely got huge, and I had to watch yourself out there. Had to pick the right lines, and I definitely wasn't helping myself with some of the lines I had in the second moto. I could feel them creeping up on me in some sections, just didn't know what they were doing. It's hard to ride behind you and kind of hear what they're doing, but it's hard. So did what I could, and overall really happy on the day. Could have been pretty disastrous, but we made up points, and we're healthy headed into the next round.
Yeah, watch you do the debrief every week with the team. What do you guys go over? Kind of on the quick version. Is it more track, bike, or is it kind of all of that?
Yeah, a little bit of all that. Just after the second moto, it was more track. They're like, "Man, you're getting killed in this section." I'm like, "Man, I don't know. I couldn't see that." So it's tough. They try to relay some sections to me, but you can only think about so much, and it's hard. Where you're losing time, and then you try a different line and it doesn't work out, and then you go back to that same line that was costing you time. So it's tough, man. Definitely leading the moto, and you can have guys kind of learn from your lines and see where they're catching you. But did my best out there today, and happy with what we came out with, considering I was on the ground in that first moto.
Yeah, it's hard to look in the rear view when you're riding.
Yeah, it was really tough, and I just had relentless pressure from behind. So did what I could, stayed calm, and I think we did pretty well for ourselves today, considering.
We'll move onward to Millville.
I was excited for Millville and Washougal, and then we got a break before the last 5, so going to this break strong.